about being a highly sensitive person, blushing, flushing, erythrophobia, and what your body is trying to tell you. Hey there, and welcome to Blushing Phoenix. I'm April. Let's talk about what your body is telling you. So if you are anything like me, when I first started dealing with chronic flushing, so I was a chest and neck flusher. That's where it started for me. And then it eventually moved to my face. So like everything just turns red at this point. And what I started to realize is that when you blush, it's so incredibly uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable. And then there's the psychological element of like, what are people thinking? What do I look like on the outside? What are people perceiving about me because I'm turning red? That everything's just so uncomfortable and the body's going through a full flight or fight response that you don't often check in with your body to see what is your body saying to you. There's this really incredible book called The Highly Sensitive Person. I have been listening to that on Audible. I was thinking like I could do a whole series on it because it is so good, you guys. Like, I'm pretty sure that every blusher is a highly sensitive person. And I know from my own experience that I am a highly sensitive person. If you listen to this book, she goes into all the backdrop behind what makes up a highly sensitive person, overstimulation, the way the body talks to you. She does a lot of these like check-in exercises with the infant body, which is imagining your body as a little baby and how are you handling that little baby. On previous videos I've talked about, I realize that a lot of times for me, when I start to get super red and flushed and my body starts to have that reaction, it is usually because of a time restraint. There's a few different things. There's a time restraint, and I know that I am betraying myself or a commitment to somebody else because I may be caught up in a situation and I've got a meeting, I've got somewhere to go, I've got to pick up a child from school, or I just need some alone time for myself. And because I'm in an engaging conversation with somebody else, or I'm at an event, or I'm wherever I am, I will get so caught up in the moment that my body starts to tell me, hey, it's time to leave. And it kind of gives me it's time to leave tap on the shoulder. And then if I ignore it, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I'll start flushing and I'll get hot and I just get worse and worse. I know that that is my body's cue. That's the infant body telling me it's time to go. You're betraying this time thing, or you're betraying the person that you said you were going to go meet. So I've spent a lot of time working on that. And when I start to feel that in my body, I know that my body is giving me signals and cues that it's time to move on. Another thing that may happen is it is the person. I may not know them very well. They seem really nice. They're friendly. We're having a incredible conversation, but something in them is off. And my body is giving me this signal that they're not safe, or you're sharing too much, or get away from them. And I've always been the type of person that's looking for a reason to do that, because in my past I've had big people pleasing issues, and with people pleasing you don't want to be perceived in a bad way or have people judging you. So they're nice, we're having a conversation, let's keep talking. When my body, the infant body, starts telling me get away from them, then I need to check in with that and get away. And it could be too that it's just overstimulation. So highly sensitive people get super overstimulated really quickly. And that can be noise, movement, lots of people, the environment. I know for me, if I go sit down, yesterday I went to lunch, a business lunch with a big group of people, big long table. There's a fireplace at the end of the table over on the wall. And there's like windows over here. I don't walk in and just sit at the table. I have to look around the table and feel what is the best spot for me, because I don't like to be in the middle. There's like, a row of chairs. I don't want to be in the middle. I'm most likely going to be on an end. I didn't want to be by the fireplace because I already know I was going to get really hot over there. So the environment and where I'm sitting and who I'm seated next to and what I can see is really important to me, because I know I'm going to get overstimulated. So when everybody goes and sits down, it takes me a minute to first kind of like identify where I want to be based on the environment around me. Another thing I do is, it was a few years ago, I was interviewing somebody at work and we were sitting at the conference table, and it was just this weird, awkward way that we were sitting. There was no it just felt like the energy wasn't flowing well. And in the middle of this candidate talking to me, I was like, I don't mean to be disrespectful and rude to you. I need to get up and move. And I sat in a different seat so that I felt like I could better engage with her, that there wasn't this blocker between us. And so might seem weird to the outside world, but to me, it's just unsettling until I'm in the right space. And that even has to do, I showed up to a work meeting one time. I was used to being in this conference room. It's this really big conference room with lots of chairs, lots of windows, and lots of room. Well, I guess that conference room was booked for that meeting, and we booked a smaller one. So when I walked into the room immediately, I was like, why is it so small in here? There were smaller windows. The table was really small, very few chairs. And luckily there were other chairs up against the wall, and I sat in that chair against the wall. Then I would come sit at the table, and then I would go sit in the chair at the wall. That's not weird. That is what highly sensitive people do. They need to protect and guard their space in order to get your best work. And if I am able to be in an environment where I feel comfortable, it is less likely that my body is going to turn red, because it's not sending me a message that I'm in a bad or unsafe place. So I really wanted to talk to you today about protecting your energy, talking about listening to your body. I went to yoga the other day, and as we were starting the yoga session, the yoga instructor said, how's everybody doing today? How are you feeling in your body? And I sat with that for a minute, and I thought, how am I feeling in my body? And I just became very aware of my body. And I try to stay in that state of mind and body just to feel what's going on around me. And the more I've explored this journey of overcoming erythrophobia, there's a lot of checking in the body. So I want to ask you today, how are you? And how are you feeling in your body? When is the last time you spent some time with your body? Just taking some time being still, listening to what your body is telling you. And I want to really encourage you that the next time that you're in a situation and you feel yourself start to flush or blush, and you feel that panicky feeling coming over you, that fight or flight response to the environment around you, I want you to grab a piece of paper, a journal, whatever you have available to you, your voice recorder, and I want you to notice what happened in your body. What was happening in the environment around you? What was the infant body telling you? Listen, you are so much more than redness. And being highly sensitive can be a superpower. Maybe your sensitivity is the best thing about you. What if it's a gift? That's how I started looking at what was happening with me. I started realizing, you know what? I feel very deeply. I'm able to know things intuitively and among people that other people don't know. I'm able to have deep empathy towards others because I can feel so deeply, but that also comes with a sensitive nervous system. So check in with your body today. You're doing just fine, and you can overcome anything through transformative action. I see you. I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you in my next one. Hey, if you like these videos, be sure to subscribe. That really helps support the channel. And I've been doing this channel now for almost 5 years, and we haven't even got to 2,500 subscribers yet. I see lots of people come through here checking out the videos. Actually, 70% of people who watch the videos don't subscribe. So I'd like to ask that if you are finding value in these videos, if they're helpful and you just enjoy hanging out here, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and sign up for my newsletter. It correlates with our weekly video, and it has some great information in there. So whether you like to read or watch videos or both, we've got you covered.